The art of the ratio call spread. A ratio spread is not for every day. It's not a set it and forget it structure. It's a strategy for moments when the wave is forming, when the swell is measured, when you sense the timing is just right. This isn't a trade for chaos. It's a trade for conviction. When I trade a ratio spread, I'm building a position that benefits from a modest move. Not too big, not too flat. I want the stock to drift or lean, not explode. I'm a surfer paddling out toward a forming wave. I don't want to be crushed by it. I want to ride it just far enough and just fast enough. Here's the setup. I buy one option, a call or a put. Then I sell two options at a higher or lower strike in the same expiration. For example, if I believe a stock will rise slightly, I might buy 150 call and sell 255 calls. That's a ratio call spread built for a gentle upswing, not a rocket. What's the reward? If the stock rises toward the short strike, in this case, 55, I can capture a sweet spot of profit. The long call gains value. The short calls decay or sit near max premium. And if the stock stalls near that short strike, the trade can pay beautifully, often more than a simple vertical. But what's the risk? If the stock explodes past the short strike, those extra short calls become uncovered. Now, I'm surfing a wave that's growing, and I have to stay nimble or I'll get pulled under. That's why I plan this trade with care. Sometimes I do it for even money or a small credit. Other times I cap the risk by turning it into a back ratio spread, buying a long-dated option to protect against a runaway move. I don't mind risk. I mind uncalculated risk. A ratio spread is about forecasting moderation. I don't need perfection. I just need the stock to drift toward the target and not blow through it. I watch the four. I watch the chart. I study the personality of the stock. And when the conditions are right, when I sense that lean or controlled pull, that's when I paddle into the ratio spread. One long, two short, one wave, carefully measured. I don't just want to win. I want to express a nuanced view. Directional, but not extreme. Structured, but with edge. That's the ratio spread. It's not for lazy trades. It's for when I want precision and when I trust my read of the tide. Ratio put spread, riding the drop. A ratio put spread is a trade for when I expect a slide, but not a crash. A lean, not a collapse. A graceful descent, one I can ride with calm and control. I picture myself again, out on the water. The swell isn't lifting. It's pulling back. The tide is shifting lower. But the sea isn't stormy. It's drifting downward, smooth and measured. That's when I set up a put ratio spread. I build it when I think the stock will drop, but only so far. Here's how I frame the trade. I buy one put close to the current price. Then I sell two puts at a lower strike, further down the slope, all with the same expiration. That's the structure. One long, two short. I might buy the $50 put and sell two $45 puts. It costs less than buying a straight put. Sometimes even gives me a small credit. And if the stock slides toward $45 but doesn't plunge, I can catch the sweet spot. That's where this strategy shines. The ideal zone, right at the short strike. The long put gains value. The short puts still have time premium. And I sit in the pocket, riding that wave down, cradle between risk and reward. But I never forget the risk. If the stock falls too far past the short strike, my second short put becomes a burden. I'm short one naked put. And now I'm below the break zone, where gains start turning into losses. That's why I plan this trade carefully. I want room for the stock to drift down, but not room for it to crash through the floor. I use it when implied volatility is elevated, and I don't want to overpay for protection. Instead, I create a surgical expression of my view, a slow descent to a soft landing. Sometimes I structure it for even money, or I take a credit knowing I'll be okay unless the drop is severe. Other times, I hedge the downside with a back ratio setup, buying an extra long put for protection. It's all about how I read the current. The put ratio spread is not about panic. It's about poise. It's not for betting on disaster. It's for anticipating a downward drift and shaping a trade that matches it. I'm not chasing the fall. I'm riding it. Skillfully, purposefully, with defined risk and clear expectation. This is the put ratio spread. It's not for noise. It's for nuance. One long, two short, a slope beneath me, a wave to catch, not to fear. And if I read it right, this is how I ride a falling tide, with structure